I got a funny Troy Aikman cut here in just a second. But one of my favorite storylines right now is Osa, and we mentioned this briefly a couple of days ago, but one of his quotes from OTAs this week said he was going back and watching some of the tape from last year, and I was like, if I was doing this stuff we're being coached to do now, I'm making this play, I'm making that play. Brian, do you see in the difference of Eberflus and Zimmer's system an opportunity for Osa to be even more disruptive? Because, I mean, his pass rush stuff was just off the charts good last year. Is that what we're talking about? Or do you think there's going to be maybe run game opportunities for Osa to improve in?
Well, I think the one thing that you've always known about the Rod Marinelli system is when the three technique and how quickly they ask that player to play up the field. And so I think that Mike – there's some things that Mike, I think he wanted Osa to play up the field, but I think it's even more emphasized with this particular coach, with Eberflus. They want you to be on that outside shoulder and then get in the gap and be disruptive. And with the way that these blocking schemes, penetration kills a lot of blocking schemes, because if you get these pullers and guys are not able to make cutoff blocks or reach blocks because the defender's so far up the field, all they're asking you to do is to mess up the blocking schemes, but also create hesitation in the backfield. The minute you get a back to stop or to slow down, then that allows people to get to the ball. That little bit of hesitation could allow somebody. So that three technique, Eberflus wants him to play up the field, and he's gonna get that opportunity. Because he's capable of it. He's capable of lining up, head up, or even playing inside shade to the center side, and then going around a guard and then getting in on the play like that. But I think it's something that kind of suits his game.
I think taking a big step up, or even a significant step up, would be all pro land for him. If you're talking, do you believe he will be even better?
I think that there's things that he does. He has stretches of games where he gets a really good matchup, and he gets somebody that's not as quick-footed, not as athletic at guard,
and he dominates that guy.
Yeah, and it's a little bit, but that's what you want. You want that ability. Yeah, we all want the guy that's going to. We all want the guy that's going to go up against
the best.
The best, and just kind of dominate that. Down after down after down. It's not always that way in the National Football League. You can't always. It wasn't like their guy at the Rams back in the day, what he was able to do and how, the quickness and things like that. But to me, it's when he's played against opponents that have been slow-footed or not as athletic, he's done a really, really nice job of taking advantage of that. But it's hard. Everybody now is playing with better centers and guards. So you have to be on your game when you're matching up against these guys. It used to be that, hey, you put your guard inside because he's a slow-footed dude, but that's not always the case nowadays.
Okay, elsewhere in the CNOTE, thank you for that, Brian. GBAG Nation CNOTE every day at 3:20 here on your home of the Cowboys. A lot of talk about Shoddy's good vibes. How this will go if they don't win. We go to about 98, 99. Troy Aikman, as the wheels are falling off and he's ticked off that Barry Switzer's coaching staff won't keep people accountable. Here's this, maybe my favorite audio cut of all time from the sidelines.
Hey, guys, that's a embarrassment out there. That's a damn embarrassment. We can't block anybody up the now. We're hugging the ball early. Junior League. Somebody's got to get their attention, and I'll tell you, Jack, I am tired of being a guy who's got to run down everybody's damn throat all the time. Why don't we have a coach that gets over there and does something about it? Instead, we want to go over and pat everybody on the ass, and they haven't done a job all night. Guys out there off, and nobody says anything about it. We got a head coach that won't say anything about it. We got coaches offensively that won't do anything about it.
Troy.
I mean, enough's enough. Babysitting's over.
Who was that? Was that Jim Garrett? Who was that?
No, Jack Riley.
Jack Riley.
Troy.
Jack Riley, please.
Keep going.
I love it. And to me, when he says junior league, it's like, man, when you're developing players and, hey, we're all trying to get better, it's no problem. You didn't make the play, Johnny. It's fine. But we're here in the pro. So when great players that know what it takes are in this environment where it's all good, I just hope Shoddy can marry this culture with accountability and discipline, because if you don't, that's what you're heading for.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, though, is the minute that we'll know what kind of coach that Schottenheimer is. Right now, everything is good and we're feeling great about the situation and look what we're doing, that kind of thing. But the minute you start to have the adversity, what kind of coach is that? Or is he the coach that's willing? Is he the coach that's not going to take mistakes? And there are mistakes that remain games, but if you're a guy that's consistently making mistakes, like as Sam Williams was, every time you play, there seems to be some type of penalty or something like that. Well, then how much do you tolerate doing that?
Looks like a cart of Indian Outlaw Barbecue is approaching our broadcast position here. As we're live at Tolbert Garage Door here. It's the GBAG Nation on 105 through the Fan. Their food truck just outside, along with a beer truck, bounce houses for the kids. And we're feasting. We're having it's a proper fan hang here, and all Tolos are invited. Oh my goodness, look at that! Just smell that. Look at the barbecue. That's terrific barbecue.
Thank you. Ribs,
thank you.
brisket.
Indian Outlaw, one of my favorite country pop songs from the 90s, by the way. Indian Outlaw.
They got
always liked that song, and I love the barbecue.
Who sang Indian Outlaw? Do you remember?
Tim McGraw.
Tim
McGraw special?
It's a country song, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kinda. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if Old West country people would want to claim it.
Look at all those sides.
But yes,
that's great.
Yes, sir. Okay. Up next in the CNOTE here, Cowboys news of the evening on your home of the Cowboys. The headline: more than just the Cowboys. Jerry Jones' business empire from football to real estate. Morning News has a piece up on it. If you're interested in business and Cowboys or the business of what's going on behind the scene. But I thought it was great detail with, especially in the context of that Oil Man show just being out there. So
Landman.
Oil company started in the 70s, sells for $175, buys the Cowboys, and now he's got so much money. 2018 traded $620 million in oil-producing properties for a majority stake in this big oil company, then threw another $475 at it. And just this last year added another $150 million to it. He now owns, $150 million to it. He now owns 67%.
Blackstone, Greystone.
Yeah. What's that called? That
Greystone Roofing?
Yeah, no, Greystone Roofing.
I know, but it's something stone, right?
It's greystone-roofing.com.
Yeah, it has an oily name to it. And then Legends Hospitality started that in 2008. Yeah. Went into business with the Yankees to start the concessions thing that's all over sports.
He's got all the new stadiums. He's got the stadium in Vegas. He has SoFi Field. I think he's got Notre Dame football too. I think they're
really, dipping into the college ranks.
Yeah, they're every new stadium seems to be outfitted with his hospitality stuff.
Deuce Vaughn, Connor Riley reunion, a key storyline in Cowboys running back battle. That is the story from Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Pretty dang crowded running back room now, guys. It's 5 guys plus Deuce Vaughn, so 6 guys in there. Is there a path forward, or is this like your last year before you joined Dad on the coaching staff?
Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, I just didn't see where Deuce fit anymore. He's not going to give you anything on special teams, and if you're not the starting running back, I don't know that there's a roster spot for you. You need
what
your
special
guys.
teams does he play? See, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
The size, if you're not going to be the starting running back, you have got to play special teams. The Cowboys for the last couple of years have got away from that when you had Zeke here and then you had Rico Dowdle. What special teams? So now it puts the stress on everybody else to have to cover. Usually your third running back is a guy that's playing. Yep. Hunter Lipke's out there. Not only is he playing as a crash test dummy guy, blocking and doing all that, right, but he's having to play all the special teams because they don't have another back that could help him out on that. Deuce Vaughn is too short to be effective in the National Football League. It's a problem.
Yeah, and you hate to see it, too, because it's such a great story. Yeah, I think
he's a great college player.
He was
a great college player. But when you get to the league, and Bill Parcells always said this, when I take you to the game, how many plays are you going to give me? How many plays are you going to give me? And that's the problem. When they try and put Deuce Vaughn in on stuff, then they don't get enough plays. He's active for a game, and he plays 4 plays. That's a waste of a spot.
Exactly, yep. There's no room for him on the roster.
Deuce has a quote in this story that I'm like, that's cool, but then I felt bad for him because he's like, yeah, Connor Riley is a guy that believed in me.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I had to be on a big search for coaches that believed in me, and I found one, so I'm a big fan of Connor. But, that aside, Brian, scheme change, is that like your last shot? Like we're going to be running in a different way now?
No, he'll get opportunity. I think Bobby made a good point about maybe trying to get some of the other guys up to speed. I was talking to Sean Payton. I think I mentioned it yesterday about Sean and I had a visit about Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And, Sean's like, listen, Brian, 2 years removed, give him a chance. Third down back, can catch it, can block. He's not going to be your primary guy. So maybe you are trying to get some guys some work. Maybe you're trying to get Sanders some work. Maybe you're trying to get Maffa some work. Maybe you're trying to get Blues some work, and now they kind of know what they have. But they also might know that, just like we talked about here in the last couple of minutes, was that Deuce Vaughn is too short to play in the NFL.